Start with that chicken thigh, pat it dry. Get them all in a bowl. Season them all with Tabasco, cayenne, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Mix it up until it looks just like that. 2 cups of flour, cayenne, paprika, cornstarch, salt, and pepper. Mix it up. That's the flour mix. 2 eggs, buttermilk. Want to mix that up. Pour that over the chicken. Mix up the chicken, get it in there, and let it sit. Then coat the chicken very well in the flour. Spicy mayonnaise, paprika, cayenne, Tabasco. Simple. Mix. Oil in. Check that it's hot enough. Has to be hot enough. You want to hear that noise. Chicken thigh, 5 to 6 minutes each side, golden brown, then flip. After that, take it out just like that. Toasted brioche bun, spicy mayonnaise both sides, pickles, that chicken, top it. Yes. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. We're gonna start with the breasts. Cut them in half so they're flat. Put them into a bag, cover in pickle juice. We're gonna use a bag because it costs less pickle juice. To make your own buttermilk, put 1 cup of milk and 1 tablespoon of vinegar and mix it up. Put it in the fridge. What mix? 2 eggs, 1 cup buttermilk, whip. Dry mix: cornstarch, flour, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. A little bit of egg mixture and move that up. Chick-fil-A sauce: mayonnaise, honey, Dijon mustard, lemon juice, barbecue sauce, mustard. Hella easy. Mix it up. It doesn't look exactly like it, but it tastes just like it. For cutting the chicken, start by putting them onto the egg mixture and bringing the oil up to heat. To finish the cutting, you're going to pack in the dry mix around the chicken breasts and do that for all of them. And check that the oil is hot enough with a chopstick. Then lay in the chicken breasts away from you and cook these for about 4 minutes each side. Take them out, golden brown. Pickles, slice them long ways because they fit better on the bun. Now for building it: toasted bun, pickles, a bunch, the chicken, and top it. Serve it with a side of Chick-fil-A sauce, and that's Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Yes, Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. Start with that chicken breast, and cut it into inch-thick cubes. Approximately. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now set it into a bowl and cover it in pickle juice. That's going to be our brine. Now for the dredge, we're going to use flour, cornstarch, panko breadcrumbs, a tablespoon of powdered sugar, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Egg wash is simple. A single egg, salt and pepper, whisk it. That's your egg wash. Then after at least 20 minutes, take the chicken out of the pickle juice and dry them. And then it goes egg wash, dredge, and repeat. Do that for all the pieces of chicken. Then get our oil ready. Fill it up about under halfway for the pan. And bring it up to heat. Check with the chopstick and throw them in. Remember, if the oil gets a little too crazy, you could always turn down the heat to bring it under control. Then get your paper towel lined plate ready. After 2 or 3 minutes each side, the chicken's good. Plate it up. Serve it with some fries and you got Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. Yes, Buffalo wings. If I see anyone go to B-Dubs, whatever, but sell wings, you a fucking clown. All these wings right here only cost $10. If you went to B-Dubs or something, that shit would cost like $25-$30. Season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then get the oil ready. You're gonna want a lot because we're gonna deep fry these. Then into a pan, you're gonna put about half a cup of Frank's Red Hot and about 3 tablespoons of butter. And you're gonna let that all come together, and that's gonna make the buffalo sauce. Then you want the oil to be really hot. You want to see a lot of bubbles around the chopstick. Throw in the wings. You want to do like batches. You don't want to overcrowd. And make sure you wear a shirt when you're frying anything because the oil will be attacking you like crazy. You don't want to get that burnness. So take some carrots and go ahead and chop them up into little sticks, smashes, whatever you want to do. And then take out the wings after about 15 minutes. You want to flip them halfway through. Take them out, put them into a bowl. Put on the buffalo sauce after the butter is all melted. And you got to do this right away. Give them a nice toss. Serve with ranch and carrots. And you got buffalo wings. Yes, chicken thighs. Pat it dry both sides. Cut it into 1-inch thick pieces and season with salt and pepper. Dry mix is flour and cornstarch. Season with salt and pepper. Mix it up so there's no patches of cornstarch. Egg wash. Egg, salt, pepper, whisk it. Looks like that. Chicken goes into the egg, coat it in flour. Don't miss any part of the chicken. Rinse and repeat for the rest of the chicken. Cut some garlic and ginger, green onion, zest of an orange, and the orange juice. Get the oil hot enough, check with the chopstick, put the chicken in. 2 to 4 minutes each side max, or till golden brown. Take it out and strain the oil. Then go in with garlic, ginger, whites of a green onion, and chili flakes. Then add rice wine vinegar, soy sauce, green onion, zest of an orange, orange juice, a drizzle of sesame oil, and the cornstarch mix. Mix it up until it gets nice and thick like that. Add the chicken to the sauce, mix it up so it's nice like that. Yes. Alright, start with the 4-cheese blend. Parmesan, mozzarella, American, and Gruyere. 1 cup of each, and we're going to chop up bacon, parsley, and garlic. Then we're going to add bacon to the pan and cook it until it's crispy. And on the way, we're going to add garlic and parsley. Once the bacon is crispy, add 2 cups of panko and a teaspoon of chili flakes and cook until the panko is brown. Then in the same pan, add 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, and cook until it becomes one. Then add 3 cups of milk. While we wait for that to thicken, on medium-high heat, we're going to cook our pasta. After about 5 minutes, add the cheese and leave about 1/4 of a cup of cheese to mix with the panko mix that we made. Then take the macaroni out about 2 minutes early and then mix it into the cheese. We're taking it out early because it's going to finish cooking in the oven. Then we're going to mix the cheese with the panko breading and make a nice layer on top of the mac. Then in a 450-degree oven, add the whole pan in for only about 6 minutes because we already made the panko crispy. And we just want that top layer of cheese to melt. Serve it up. Yes! Buffalo chicken hoagie. Take the chicken thighs, pan them dry on both sides, and to even them out, I like to use a knife and make shallow cuts on the thickest part instead of using a mallet. Season with salt and pepper lightly and add a little bit of oil to the pan. Not as much as I did, I had to take it out. Then we're going to do 4 to 5 minutes each side on high heat. After the chicken is done, let it rest for a few minutes and then chop it up. Into the same pan, add butter and Frank's Red Hot. That creates buffalo sauce, butter and Frank's. Then put the chicken in and mix it up till the chicken's all coated. And then add the mozzarella cheese. For the bread, use French bread and get the desired piece and cut it so that there's a hinge on the end. Then take out some of the bread so you can fit more stuff on the inside. Take your tomato and chop it up into slices. Add mayonnaise to the bread. This part is optional. Then take the chicken and start building your sandwich. Put the chicken in, put the tomatoes and lettuce. Yes! Honey walnut shrimp. Egg whites. You want to crack the egg into the bowl and then take out the yolk with your hand. Wiggle it around so you don't take any of the egg white with you. Then whisk it up for like 5 minutes until it gets a little foamy like that and add the cornstarch. Whisk it up till it's smooth in consistency. For the walnuts, add butter to a hot pan, brown sugar, water, and keep mixing it on high heat until you see bubbles form on the bottom. Then set it to the side. Add oil to the pan and start warming that up. While that comes to heat, season the shrimp with salt and pepper. Mix it up and add that to the batter. Check that the oil is hot enough and then throw the shrimp in. 30 seconds each side. Shrimp fries really quick. For the sauce, add mayonnaise, honey, and condensed milk and mix that up so it looks like that. Then in the bowl, add the shrimp, walnuts, and the sauce. Then mix it all up and serve. Yes! Homemade chili cheese hot dogs. For the doggers, we're going 3/4 ground beef and 1/4 ground pork. 1 tablespoon of salt, 1/2 tablespoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon all of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and 1/4 cup ice cold water. Mix that up real well. Cover it into the fridge for 2 hours. Take it out, uncover it. You're gonna take your easy kebab maker. You're gonna go ahead and fill up the top part with your little wiener mix, and then you're gonna put the kebab stick in there. You're just gonna press down. You're gonna get little wieners just like this. Make 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many M's in your bank account you want. Once you're done making those little wieners, little kebab wieners, I'm going to use them to make hot dogs. You're going to put a little bit of oil on the pan, heat it up, and put the kebabs on it. Cut them for like 2.5 minutes each side, and there's 4 sides on them. You want to get nice and seared. You could grill them if you want. I don't have a grill, so that's what's happening. We're going to go ahead and take another pan, toast up the buns, the hot dog buns, take out the wieners. You're going to put the wieners into the buns that are toasted. Put it like that or like that, and then take the leftover chili from yesterday. It's perfect transition. Chili cheese hot dogs. Put the cheddar cheese on top, and you're gonna put it into the broiler and let that get on melted. You got chili cheese hot dogs. Yes, It's McDonald's French fries. Start by getting ready a bowl of water and add a little bit of sugar to it. Mix it up. Then take the rest of potatoes, 3 of them. Go ahead and cut them into slices, and then you're gonna go ahead and cut them into slices again. You want them to be like 1/4 of an inch, just like this, nice and small, just like McDonald's. And then put them into the sugar water and place them into the fridge for like 30 minutes. Put the oil into the pan after 30 minutes. Take out the fries, drain them, and then you want to dry them real well on a towel. Don't use paper towels because that's a waste of paper towels. It's a waste of money. Just use a regular ass towel. And then once they're dry, place them into a little Pyrex. And then check that the oil is hot enough using a chopstick. And we're going to flash fry them for like 60 seconds. We're going to go ahead 60 seconds. Flatten them out on the Pyrex. Put them into the fridge for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, take them out. And then you're going to refry them for like 4 to 5 minutes until they're golden brown. Lightly golden brown, however much you want them. and then go ahead and place them into a big bowl. And this whole process is just because it's how McDonald's does it. Go ahead and sauce them up right away, give them a nice toss, and you got McDonald's fries. Yes, sir. Nacho cheese, Doritos Locos Tacos. Start with the iceberg lettuce and slice it up and set that to the side. For the ground beef, get the most fat content you could find because it tastes better. We didn't get the Flavor Guy Taco Tuesday seasoning. Shout out to them. They gave me hella seasonings. Go ahead and mix it up. Put in like 2 tablespoons or so. Tablespoon and a half. However much you feel like. And now to replicate the Dorito dust, we're going to get cheese seasoning and nacho cheese seasoning from Flavor Guide. Go 1 tablespoon each and mix it up. And you're going to coat the shells with a little bit of oil. Use a brush if you have one. I don't have one. I only did 2 because it's a process if you don't have a brush. And then just dust on the dust on there. And then put it into the oven at 370 for about 3 minutes just to toast it up and let that Dorito dust get sticky to it. Onto the pan goes oil, the ground beef. Keep chopping it up. Cook it until it's almost done. Once you see a little bit of pink there, just take it off and it'll finish cooking on itself. Go ahead, put the meat in, the lettuce, the cheese, and then you got Doritos Locos Tacos Nacho Cheese, baby. But I'm just saying Cool Ranch is better. Yes, Banana pancakes. Start with 2 bananas and slice them up and put them into a bowl and mash it up until it's nice and smooth in consistency. Go ahead and mix it up. Add 2 eggs in there, mix that up, whip it up, and then add 1 tablespoon of baking powder and a 4 cup of flour and mix that up again until it looks like that. Now, some people add sugar to this mix, but I don't want to because bananas are already sweet to me. Go ahead and bring up to heat your pan. Add a little bit of butter to there. Let it mix it all around. And then we're going to use a 4th cup to scoop out the pancakes and just shomp on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. And you're going to know they're done when you got a little bit of bubbly on the top. Go ahead and make sure they don't stick next to each other. And look, this thing works so good. I was messing around and almost made one big ass pancake. Flip it and then, just look at how good they look. Got a nice little stack. Dress it however you want. Yes, Now take this flip, bruh. Yes, Cacio e pepe, which means cheese and pepper. This is cheese and pepper pasta. So start with the water, boil it, and then get your pasta. I got linguine on accident. I was supposed to get spaghetti. And then get about a 3's worth or like a 3-pointer, you know what I'm saying? Like the little hole filled up. Or just half the package, and that's 8 ounces. Forgot to record putting it in, but there it is. And this pepper, got some fresh ground pepper. I don't have any. That thing was $7, bro. Oh my gosh. And you gotta toast it and then put the butter in. Mix it up, let the butter melt, incorporate that. It's gonna smell hella good. Mince some garlic, and once the pasta's al dente, set it to the side. Add the garlic and chili flakes to the pan and then just mix it up. You're not supposed to add that, but I wanted to for more flavor. You could leave it out to be traditional. Add the pasta and a cup of the pasta water. And then in goes 4th cup of Parmesan, 4th cup of Pecorino. Go ahead and whip that up and finish it with a little bit of cheese and Pecorino, and you got cacio e pepe. Yes, Bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, BLT. Start with iceberg lettuce, slice it up, and get heirloom tomatoes. It looks ugly, but bro, these are so good. It tastes like steak. I kid you not. I freaking bring one home from Whole Foods because I work there just to have my family try it, bro. It's hella good. Now get thick cut bacon, fried up, crispy, both sides. I was going to do more. You should probably do more, but I can only fit 4 on this small ass pan, so that's just what I did. And I didn't want to do another batch. Onto sourdough bread, 2 pieces, butter, both sides. Go ahead and put it on there, toast it up. Now we're going to spice it up with a little spicy mayonnaise. Mayonnaise and some hot sauce. I used some Louisiana. I wanted to use Tabasco, but it was going to be $10 for a fucking bottle of Tabasco at the store. And then put the lettuce, the heirlooms. Heirlooms is key. Some more hot sauce. The bacon laid on there nice and neat. And honestly, just top it. And honestly, I never eat BLTs, but this shit was fire. Yes, Asian Zing wings. Start by putting all your wings into a bowl and season it lightly with salt and pepper. Check out this pepper shaker though. You just press a button and it spins for you. Now mix it up and then into a wok or pan, whatever. Fill it with like 1.5 inches of oil. We're gonna bring that up to heat. Mince up some garlic and ginger. Into a pan goes honey, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce, cornstarch, minced garlic and ginger, a little bit of chili flakes and a little bit of sriracha, a little bit of half a lemon. Put that onto the heat and keep it mixing until it gets thick. Check the heat on the oil with the chopstick. In goes the wings. Fry those for about 15 minutes each side, 18 minutes, whatever. Take them out. Once the sauce is done and the wings are done, toss the wings in the sauce. And you got Asian Zing wings. Yes! McDonald's McNuggets. Start with that chicken breast. Go ahead and cut it up into little cubes. And we're going to blend it in batches. And we're going to pulse it. You could use a grinder if you have one, but I don't have one. I'm guessing a lot of you don't have one. You could use a blender, works just as good. Season the meat with a bunch of salt and pepper. And then the key to shaping your nuggets is to keep your hands wet so it doesn't stick to you. So you feel me? We made a few McDonald's shakes, and we went off with some dinosaurs, made a country, and look at that. I don't know what that is. Throw it into the freezer for like 2 hours. For the dry mix, we're gonna go flour, cornstarch, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. Mix it up. For the wet batter, we're gonna go eggs, half a cup of water, fourth cup of cornstarch, and whip that up. Then once your nuggets are hard, we're gonna go dry, wet, and then leave on there. And then once you do that, you're gonna heat up some oil. Once it bubbles around the stick, the wood, the chopstick, throw them into the oil. Make sure they don't stick to each other. Fry them for about 2 minutes each side. Take them out, and you got chicken McNuggets. Yes, poutine. If you ain't know, poutine's like a Canadian French fry dish. So we got some frozen crinkle cut fries. Throw it onto the pan. We gonna bake it. You could fry it. You can make your own fresh fries, but I'm using frozen fries and I'm baking it because it's easier. Alright, and I didn't put it in, so I had to readjust it because I'm dumb. And then we using leftover gravy because gravy. Oh, so this is like a leftover turkey poutine because for every single Thanksgiving, every single holiday we be using turkeys because turkeys be lit. And then so you're supposed to use cheese curries, but I got whole fat mozzarella because it's like the one step down from cheese curries. But you're supposed to use cheese curries, but we didn't have any at our grocery store. Then we put the turkey on, then we put it back into the oven. We let that turkey get hot and the cheese get melty, but not all the way though. So then we put the gravy on. Ooh, we going crazy. Look at that. Yeah, and this shit kind of fire though, so try it. Shout out to O Canada on my mood there, psych. Yes, Japanese fried chicken or chicken karaage. Start that chicken thigh, you already know what's going on. Cut up into little slices. You want it to be like strips. That's how they look when you get at a restaurant. Throw into a bowl. Then into that bowl, this is gonna be the marinade. Minced garlic, ginger, soy sauce, and rice wine vinegar. Mix it up and let that sit. However much time you got is perfect. Then into a bowl goes a bunch of cornstarch. This is gonna be the coating for the chicken. And this is the difference in Japanese fried chicken or karaage. That's why it's so much crispier, because it's only cornstarch. And when you set the chicken aside, you're going to want to avoid stacking like me. Make one layer. And as always, I made a mess. And into your wok pan or whatever you have, do like 1.5 inches of oil, maybe 1 inch. We're going to shallow fry these or whatever. And once it comes up to heat, check with the chopstick. If it bubbles around, it's ready. And they're done after about 5 to 7 minutes or when they're golden brown. Take them out. I had to do 2 batches. Place it onto a paper towel line plate. Finish it with lemon. But could we appreciate this lighting real quick? God damn. Yes, we making oyakadon. Start with that chicken thigh, pat it dry. Go ahead and cut it up into little bite-sized pieces. Get a whole white onion, slice it up, and then into a bowl goes a whole egg. Whisk it up lightly, not too much. Then into a pan goes half a cup of chicken stock, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and bring that up to a simmer. Then once it reaches a simmer, go ahead and throw in all of the sliced onions and break it up. And then once that comes back up to a simmer, throw in all the chicken pieces. Give them space. We're going to go ahead and simmer that. Keep that on there for like 5 to 6 minutes. Then once they're halfway done, which is after about like 3 minutes, you can go ahead and flip them over. And then we're going to go over to the home garden and get some green onions. And then we're going to slice it up and then pour the egg over the chicken. And it's going to cook for like 3 minutes. We're going to need to keep it on low heat. And then we're going to take it off and let it sit for 1 minute. We're going to finish it with a little bit of green onion. And as you can see, it moves around within the pan, which is going to be perfect to pour right over the rice. But my rice wasn't ready because I always forget to make rice. Yes, sesame chicken. We're gonna start with 2 chicken thighs. These chicken thighs are fat, bruh. And then you're gonna cut them into little bite-sized pieces and trim it up just a little bit. And then you're gonna put it into a bowl. Into that bowl goes a whole egg, about half a cup of cornstarch, and season with salt and pepper. You can leave out the yolk if you want, but to be less eggy, but I just left it in. Mince up about a tablespoon of garlic, and then into a wok or pan or whatever, you're gonna put a little bit of oil. We're gonna shallow fry it about 1 inch. Bring it up to heat. Check with the chopstick. If it bubbles around, then it's ready. In goes the chicken. We're going to fry it for about 5 to 7 minutes. Just keep mixing it up, and then out they go. Then using the oil that you used to fry, you can dump most of it out. Leave a little bit left. Add the garlic, a teaspoon of chili flakes, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a little bit of water, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sesame seeds, a little bit of sesame oil, and a little bit of cornstarch mixed with water. And that's going to thicken up the sauce. And then add back the chicken and mix it up. Finish with sesame seeds, and yes, it's finals week, and I got 1 pan pasta for you. It only takes 6 ingredients, but it's so good it doesn't even matter. You can get 4 cloves of garlic, smash them, peel them, mince it, a whole red onion or purple, whatever that is, and then slice them, and then get a whole container of cherry tomatoes and cut them in half. And you're gonna get about 8 to 10 ounces of whatever pasta. I got some leftover fettuccine. You're gonna throw the onions, tomatoes, garlic, and see me, you want to make it into the pot. That's why my stove is always a mess, but check me, I cleaned it, sparkling. And then you're gonna put some basil, like a handful. I don't know how much that is, maybe like, yeah, just a handful. And then go 4 cups of chicken stock. I'm using a little powdered stock, could use whatever. And I spilled again, as you can see. And you're gonna go ahead and bring that up to a simmer. You're gonna simmer it for like 10 to 12 minutes, and you're gonna come out with this. Easy. Yes, sir. Fettuccine Alfredo. That sounded kind of good, but bring a pot of water to a rolling boil, and then take 4 cloves of garlic, smash them, peel them, and mince it up. Then get half a stick of butter or 4 tablespoons. And you're going to want to heat up a pan. Make sure you turn on the right stove. And you're going to want that to be on a medium high heat, and let that melt down for a little bit. Then add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then add the garlic. Let that all melt together, and add a cup of heavy cream. Mix that up, and then once the water becomes a rolling boil, salt it, add a large pinch of salt, and then add about 8 to 10 ounces of fettuccine. And then salt the cream with a little bit of salt and pepper. You want to be able to part the Red Sea with it. You want to see the bottom of the pan, and then add 2 cups of grated Parmesan. Mix that in there. It's going to become hella thick with like 4 C's. And then add all the noodles. You want to bring some of that water in because the sauce is hella thick. So then you're going to mix that up, and the water is just going to thin out the sauce. And that's it, really. Yes, This one's for all my broke college students. I'm going to teach you how to cook for the low. Pull up to the store, get a cup of noodles and a head of cabbage. Together, that should be no more than $1. And slice it up into different sizes. You know, you want different textures. You want to be fancy without actually being fancy. Fill up your cup of noodle with water and microwave it. Then to a pan on medium-high heat, add a little bit of oil and add as much of the cabbage as you want. Cabbage is real cheap, so it don't really matter. So then add some soy sauce and some brown sugar and mix that up. That'll be like the stir-fried kind of sauce. And what you're going to want is have some cooked chicken thighs on deck. You want that in your fridge. You want to front all the work. You just want all this stuff ready to go whenever you want. And I add a little bit more cabbage because I needed more greens. And then you're going to take only the noodles from the cup of noodles and incorporate that all into the stir-fry. And now you got a well-balanced meal for the low. You got some meat, greens, and noodles. What more could you ask for? Serve with some sriracha, hoisin, whatever, and you're good. And you got a side of soup. Yes, chicken quesadilla. You already know, start with chicken thighs, pat them dry. Cut them into inch-thick pieces and season with taco seasoning and a little bit of olive oil. Then shred up some Monterey Jack cheese and some cheddar cheese. Bring a pan up to heat, add in the chicken. You're going to cook those for about 5 to 8 minutes. Take it off the heat when it's done. Get a nice big 12-inch flour tortilla and put the cheese mix on, sour cream, and some salsa. You could use homemade salsa, but this can of salsa was only $2, so that's what we're running with. Put the chicken on, fold the top, bottom, and then the sides. And then into a pan. A different pan. Use a clean pan, not what I did. Put some butter in, let that melt, and then put the quesadilla on. We're going to do like 3 to 4 minutes each side until golden brown. On both sides. Cut it in half, and you got a chicken quesadilla. Yes, sir! On meat. We're going to be making char siu chicken. And for the marinade, it includes garlic, Chinese 5-spice, ketchup, hoisin, soy sauce, honey, and a little bit of sesame oil. Take your chicken thighs and trim them up and flatten them out using your knife. Make shallow cuts. Normally, it's used pork for char siu, but everybody should have chicken thighs on deck. So, set aside a little bit of marinade and then throw in the chickens. You could probably use like 5 chickens for that amount of marinade. Now for the pickled carrots, add 1 part salt and 2 parts sugar and massage it in there. And then cover it in rice wine vinegar and a little bit of water. Let those sit for either 20 minutes or overnight. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees and throw the chicken in for 40 minutes. Make jalapeno and cucumber slices and break off some cilantro. Halfway done with the chicken, lather on some of the sauce and then flip and lather the sauce on the other side and throw it in for another 15 minutes. Then at the last 5 minutes, throw in some bread and put the rest of the sauce on the chicken. Now to build this thing, cut the bread in half, take some of the bread out. Start with mayonnaise, the chicken, the cucumber, the pickled carrots, jalapeno, and the cilantro. And you got a bomb meat. Yes, garlic parmesan wings. Set the oven to 400 degrees. Then take a whole head of garlic and chop it in half. Place it inside a piece of foil and season with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and place it into the oven for 40 minutes. Then for the sauce, we're going to use mayonnaise, oregano, thyme, basil, chili flakes, salt, and pepper. We're also going to use the garlic, so take it out of the oven after 40 minutes, and the cloves should be able to pop out just like that and turn it into a paste, and then place that into the sauce. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of honey and a tablespoon of lemon juice and mix that up till it looks like that. Then get the frying oil ready, set the heat to 375 or it's ready when the bubbles form around the chopstick. Then place in there about 2 pounds of chicken wings and fry that. It's going to take about 13 minutes. While we're waiting for that to cook, we're going to cut and peel the carrots and flip the wings about halfway through. Then to a bowl, add the sauce. And when the wings are done, add them to a paper towel lined plate. And then throw them into the bowl with the sauce and toss them until they're all coated. Then serve with ranch and carrots and yes, Mashed potatoes. Start with 2 pounds of Yukon Gold or yellow potatoes. Peel them and slice them into about inch-sized cubes, and then cover them in water in a large pot and bring that to a rolling boil. And once it reaches a rolling boil, season with a large pinch of salt and keep it on the move. While that's going, add a 1/4 cup of milk and 3 tablespoons of butter to a pan and let that incorporate. Smash and peel 4 cloves of garlic and infuse it into the butter and milk mixture using a sift or a strainer. Then take it off the heat when the potatoes are ready, and you know they're ready when you can smash it with your finger or smash it on the side of the pan with a wooden spoon. Give them a light smash in the beginning, then pour in the butter and milk mixture. Then mash it up again until that becomes one, and then season with salt and pepper. I did 3 pinches of salt and pepper. And then add about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese while it's still hot and let that melt and incorporate in there. Bake and garnish just for the video, and you got it. Yes, Coconut curry. Start with that chicken thigh and dice it up into bite-sized pieces. Then dice up garlic, ginger, and onion. Add coconut oil to the pan and season sliced bell peppers. Saute them for about 5 minutes until soft. Then take them out and add more coconut oil. Once that's melted, add curry powder straight to it and cook it down. Then add the garlic, ginger, and onion. Cooking till the onions are translucent, then adding the chicken thighs. After you get a nice sear on the chicken, after a few minutes on high heat, add the coconut milk and keep it moving. Keep scraping the bottom of the pan and add the bell peppers back in and keep it moving. I tasted it and it was too sweet, so I added more curry powder and salt. After letting that simmer down for several minutes, you know it's done when you can scrape the bottom of the pan and it slowly covers that area. Take it off the heat and add a touch of lemon to bring it all together. Serve with rice and enjoy. Yes, Crunchwrap Supreme. We're going to start by making a Mexican seasoning mix. In goes cumin, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, salt, pepper, chili flakes, and oregano. Then season and incorporate the mix into the ground beef. Heat up a pan with olive oil and put the ground beef in and keep chopping it up. The meat could be a little stubborn, so you gotta be persistent with it. And towards the end of the cooking process, you're gonna wanna put some flour in to create kind of like a sauce for the meat. In the same pan, scrape all the oil to the side. Get lettuce and tomato ready. Warm up a tortilla and place a layer of ground beef, the tostada shell, sour cream, lettuce, and diced tomato. Don't skimp on it. And cheese. Then pinch and fold all the way around. Then place it onto the stove. Approximately 2 minutes each side or until you see color. Cut it in half and enjoy. Yes, The tri-tip on both sides with garlic powder and pappies, or your choice of seasoning salt. You want to get a nice thick layer because it's a thick piece of meat. For the asparagus, cut the tips off and season with salt, pepper, and olive oil. Mix it up. After the grill's been heated, clean it, and then place the tri-tips on direct heat. I go 8 minutes for the first 2 flips, and then I go 5 minutes for the last 2 flips, and then check with the thermometer. Then on goes the asparagus and keep it moving, 3 to 5 minutes. For the pasta, you're going to bring a big pot of water to a boil. Then for the pesto sauce, get the water, olive oil, and the pesto packets. Season the water with salt and then add in the pasta. Keep it moving for 9 minutes till al dente. Then heat up a pan and add the pesto sauce till it gets thick, and then add in the pasta after you've drained it. And mix it up. Then slice up the tri-tip and get a nice look at it and serve. Yes, chicken thighs, adobo chilies, chop all them up, throw it in. Cumin, salt and pepper, and lime. That's the marinade. Mix it up and let that sit in the fridge. For the corn salsa, start with the corn, jalapeno, cilantro, lime, salt, pepper, and onion. For the pico, tomato, onion, jalapeno, cilantro, lime, and salt. And mix that up. For the cilantro lime rice, start with the rice in a bowl, put the cilantro in, squeeze lime. For the guac, put the avocado, jalapeno, onion, cilantro, and then the salt. Mix it up. Alright, the beans are simple. Start with some onion in the pot, some oil, then put the beans in, garlic powder, cumin. High heat 5 minutes. For the chicken, get the pan super hot with some oil in it. 7 to 9 minutes each side, take it out, chop that thing up. Now we all know how this goes. Oh, double chicken for sure. Oh shit. Had to double wrap that. Chicken thighs. Pat it real dry. You don't want any moisture in there. We're gonna make tonkatsu sauce. Oyster sauce, ketchup, soy sauce, Worcestershire, brown sugar, and vinegar. Mix it up, and there you got it. Take half a head of cabbage and slice it up real thin. Usually chicken katsu is served on or with a bed of cabbage. Now you're gonna wanna get the chicken thighs to approximately even width. Some people use a mallet, I like to use a knife. Salt and pepper on both sides. Flour, season the flour. Egg wash. You can go chicken, flour, egg, panko. You're gonna want to season the panko as well. You want seasoning on every step for the most flavor. Repeat. Heat up some oil in the pan, and when you put a chopstick in and bubbles form around it, that's how you know it's ready. 3 to 4 minutes each side. 3 to 5 minutes golden brown. Chop that thing up. Get that drizzle of tonkatsu. Yes,